Hi, today we're going to try to make two cards inspired by this month's Paper Crafts magazine. The first one we're going to copy is this one here that's on the cover. So let's get started, and I'm actually going to make a baby card instead of a holiday card. So that card had a neutral card designer paper onto its card base, so I just found some soft suede designer paper I had from Paper Crafts from 2003, just a subtle color there, so I just adhered that to my card front. Now since I'm doing a baby card, I have this baby sentiment stamp from Stampin' Up, so I'm going to stamp the words baby in cursive first, and I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig and my marker. So I'm going to just color the word baby with my marker in this brown color, soft suede. I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig, which means I'm going to line up my T-square and stamp onto this plastic transparency so I could see where I'm stamping. So I'm going to line this up a little bit off center, how that sample was. I'm going to re-ink this. And then use my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig again to stamp it in place. So I'm going to line this up where I want it. A little low is where the sample was. Gonna line it up, it's a little crooked there. And then I'm going to stamp it. Okay. And then as the sample was, let me show you again, it had sticker alphabets above and below, so I'm going to do that. And mine is going to say welcome and then baby, and I'm going to put girl on the bottom with the stickers. So let me do that quickly. Okay, so there is my title. And now instead of the holly, I have these felt flowers from Stampin' Up. So I'm just going to lay those down and use my multi-glue here to adhere them. And I'm just going to place it at an angle. And that's my card for a little girl. And again, here's the card that I copied from here on the cover of Paper Crafts. So the next one I wanted to make and show you has a lot more pieces. It's here on page 17 of this magazine, and the designer is Betsy Veldman. So it's up here, this one. I thought I'd try to use some more of my scrap pieces. So I didn't have the same type of punch or thing, so let me just show you what I did, or how I'm going to make this card. So on her card, she had some brown lines on the background, which I don't have, so I'm going to make my own. So I'm going to use some dark brown ink and the edge of a piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to ink it up and use it as a stamp and just kind of stamp and make some lines onto my card. So it just gives that subtle background similar to what she had without having the designer paper. Just adding a few more. Okay, so now I have kind of the line background there. And she also had a little bit of distressing around the border, so I'm going to do that with the same brown with a little sponge dauber. And I'm just going to daub off along the edges here. Okay. And she had her corner rounded, so I have my little corner rounder here. And then she had, let me show you one more time. She had some, it looks like a snowflake diamond type of punch. I don't have anything, so I use this 5-star flower punch I got from Stampin' Up. And so I just stamped random flowers out of it, out of different scraps. And I tried to use similar colors she had, so these were the ones I came up with. So I think it's going to lay out sort of like this. And then she had 2 off on the side. So I'm going to have 1 here. Oops, and 1 here. So I think that's how it's going to go. So before I glue those down, I wanted to get my sentiment here to make sure I spaced these correctly. So she had a cursive sentiment in oval, so I'm going to use my Cherry Cobbler ink and another stamp from Stampin' Up. Thanks Big Time. This is also from a Word for You stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that on white cardstock. And then I'm going to punch it out in a scallop oval punch that I have. And then I have some scrap designer paper in a gray color. I'm going to punch that in an oval so I can layer my sentiment on it. So let me adhere that down. Okay, so there's my sentiment. So that's going to go about here. So I'm going to spread these out a little bit more. So that gives me kind of the feel of where these flowers are going to go. So let me start gluing those down. I think I'll start with this one. Okay, so let me trim these off. Okay, now she also had a scallop edge, so I'm going to do that in Cherry Cobbler Red with the scallop border punch I got from Stampin' Up as well. So let me adhere this down. Okay, and then trim that as well. And then she had a blue ribbon here, so I have some ribbon. She had it tied in a knot. Okay, there's my ribbon, and I'm going to put dimensionals on this. And I'm going to place that out there. Let me trim these. And then for the finishing touches, she had buttons all here, so I'm going to add all these multicolored buttons she had. So I'm just using mini glue dots. And there's my copy card. So I hope you're inspired, and I'll see you next time. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.